Hi guys, I just thought that I would do a little stretchy session today, sort of focusing on the shoulders and back. So if you joined me in the last session, we kind of did this movement, walking and rolling through the pelvis, and we kind of found how it relates to the spine. Okay, keep that in your mind, let that go. If you have a strap, I'm going to use a scarf today. It could be anything that you can hold on to, that you can hold pretty much this wide, and you can change obviously how wide you hold it. Now, if you have limited mobility or you're working within a chair, you're just going to have to cherry pick the exercises and the stretches that you want to do today. You can always do this standing if sitting down isn't good enough or right for you. Any position that you like, really. So all we're going to do, first of all, is sit as tall as you can or stand as tall as you can. Now, the thing is here, we don't want to lock, right? Don't feel pressure to have to be a certain shape, a certain way. Relax, okay? You're just sitting. That's all you're doing. And all we're going to do is drop one ear down towards one shoulder. That's all we're doing. Now, your head is going to stay in line with your spine, but it's just kind of tilted towards one shoulder. So don't stick the chin forwards, don't pull the head back. It's like you're between two panes of glass. You've just dropped one ear to the shoulder. Keep the upper back stable. We're not leaning at the moment, just the neck, just from here. And then you're going to pretend that you've got a small orphan or a small child pulling on your other arm. Okay, so it's pulling this opposite shoulder down. And then while that pull is happening, just with your chin, you're going to just gently turn it down towards your armpit. So you're changing the stretch in the neck, and you'll feel a different placement here. Sit nice and tall. It's like you've just curled yourself down towards the armpit. Keep the upper back nice and stable and release. Da, da, da. And do the same the other side. Gentle, ear towards shoulder. Sit nice and tall. And as of course we said before, breathe, breathe. Okay, let the breath send signals to your mind and body to soften and relax. Small child is pulling on this arm this time, stretching through the side of the neck. Don't overstretch, just let it be easy. Just a little bit to start with, and then you're going to turn your chin down towards your armpit. And that child is still pulling on your arm, you're still sitting tall. And breathe. Good. And then bring it through the center slowly. Now you're just going to turn with your chin level to the floor to look over your right shoulder. Just to look over your right shoulder, center, and look over the left shoulder. Oh, what's happening over there? Good. You're going to look over the right shoulder again. Shrug your left shoulder up and roll it back down in your spine. Good, so we're doing the opposite shoulder. Come center, turn your gaze to the left, pick up the right shoulder and just roll it down your spine. Come through the center, and then let's just roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders back. This time you're going to turn your head to the right. Now, this muscle here, this big muscle that you can see, sternocleidomastoid, coming all the way from the ear down to the sternum. It's a big muscle, often gets very, very tight. Now, you're going to put your opposite hand on that. So you're going to put your hand on that big muscle. Now, you'll feel, as you move backwards, you'll feel a little divot or rivet, whatever the word is. Okay, so after this big muscle, you'll feel a little dent there. Now, you're just going to push into that dent and find a little trigger point, just a little trigger point. There'll be a point where it might feel quite tender. I'm just going to give it a little press around. Be very careful here. You don't want to over press, right? Because there's so many blood vessels from heart up to head here. You're just going to find a little point where there might be a little bit of pressure and then turn forwards. You don't want to do it with your head to the side. And then this pressure now, I found a little spot and it's going all the way down my neck, down to my arm. It's a kind of referred sensation. And then just move down a little bit and find another tender spot. And just breathe here with your face forwards. Just do that a couple of times. Just turn, find a tender spot, Press on it a little until you feel a sensation and then turn your head forwards, very importantly. We're just releasing some of the tightness across the neck, arms and shoulders. And then release. Just do the same to the other side. You're turning your head. Feel that big muscle going all the way from the skull down to your sternum. Just move your fingers behind it a little bit and you feel that little dent there before you get anywhere else. There's kind of a little canal there. And you're just going to see if you can find a tender spot there. Okay, this side is a little bit harder for me. There we go. I've got one and I can feel the sensation going all the way down my arm. So I'm just going to hold it there and turn my head forwards. Now we don't want to be pressing onto the carotid artery here, really dangerous. So make sure you're not pressing on that you're kind of going just behind that sternocleidomastoid muscle here and not too hard either. And you're going to breathe here. I think I've just covered over my mic. Then find another little spot, maybe feels a little bit tender. Breathe here, and you can do this for as long as you like. If you want to keep searching around, but remember not to press too hard. Good. Okay, and release. So you're just going to take your arms out like a cactus, and you're going to gently take the fists down, and then up, and down, and up. Now we're not moving the whole of the upper back and rounding. We're keeping pretty stable. So as we sit upright, the elbows are just pretty much staying quite still, and the backs of the wrists are pressing back and then down and forwards. Okay, so notice the mobility here. My hands are going slightly behind the angle of my elbows here. My elbows aren't going back, they're staying forwards. So we're just, again, releasing through the shoulders, and you can get a little bit more mobility as time goes on. Now I'm going to hold the backs of the wrists back behind me a little bit, elbows are forwards, and I'm going to reach my arms to the sky and then come back with that diagonal angle. So you're gently reaching palms to the sky and squeezing between the shoulder blades, shoulders down your back. Reaching and a little squeeze. The neck is really nice and long. Okay, so the elbows are slightly forward, the hands are slightly back. We're reaching all the way up and pulling down. Reaching and pulling down. Two more, reaching and pulling down. And last one, reach and pull down further with one hand, turn the palm to the floor, and you're just going to reach the top arm overhead into a gentle, the bottom elbow is going to bend. We don't want to hitch the shoulder up, so let the shoulder be free, and you're just reaching top arm open to open through your rib cage. Head, neck, shoulders relaxed. And again, if you're in a chair, you can also do this. Grab the side of the chair and you're just going to reach up if the balance over isn't available. Now, whatever way we're reaching, we're going to push the opposite sit bone down to the floor so you get length through the side of the body. Reach, reach, reach with your arms. Soften the bottom shoulder, soften the head and neck. Deep breath into the lungs. And then as you breathe out, you're going to circle that lifted arm back behind you. Look down at the floor. Open, open, open the shoulder, and you're going to just make circles with that arm. So you're looking over the opposite shoulder, circling the opposite arm, getting into all the little clunky bits of that shoulder joint, and release. And the same with the other side. Walk the fingers out a little bit, root through the sit bones, reach your top arm up and over, bottom elbow bent. We don't want to lean and hitch up the shoulder. We want to keep the neck free. Really important. And push the sit bone down into the floor as you reach the top arm over. Breathe into the waist. Head, neck and shoulders are relaxed. As deep a breath as you can get. And then you're going to turn that palm behind you. Look away from it. And then get as big a circles through that shoulder girdle as you can. You're opening across the chest and the pecs And last circle, release the arms out. You're going to lean a little bit forwards this time. Lean a little bit forwards, okay? And from here, you're going to bring the fists together with thumbs turned out. We want that little diagonal. You can do this standing. And you're just going to send the thumbs up and back, down and forwards. So your wrists are kind of facing the sky. Oh, I've got to get myself centered. Thumbs up and back, down and forwards. Okay, thumbs up and back. You're leaning forwards, flat back, and you're just kind of hitching the thumbs up on a diagonal. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. And fists. Good. Now you're going to take the arms straight back behind you. Bring the fists together. Your thumbs are facing out. Good. And straight back behind you. You're working your postural muscles, working your shoulders. You know, we spend so long hunched over a computer or whatever job we're doing. We want to kind of counteract that. Bring some strength in the shoulder joint here. And then 2 more on that diagonal again. So up and back. Down and forwards, and up and back, and down and forwards. You're going to grab your strap or your whatever you've got, a shawl, an ex-boyfriend, anything that you want. Now, I'm going to take it pretty wide because you're going to need this for mobility. Now, we're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, I want you to keep your shoulders down, but bring that strap all the way overhead. And inhale, bring it forwards. Now, you're going to do this, but you're going to pull on the strap. Pull. So there's activity happening in your shoulders. You're going to breathe in. Exhale, take it up. Inhale, lower. Keep pulling the strap. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift it up, hold it there. You're going to pull one arm down and press the other arm to the sky. So again, we're kind of leaning. And center, breathe in. And keep pulling the strap apart. As you exhale, pull the other arm down. So you're pulling it towards the floor, but trying to punch the sky with your other arm. Center and gently release. Breathe in. I'm going to take it a little bit wider. Breathe out. Okay, we're going to breathe in, bring the arms overhead, and this time see if we can take them all the way behind us. Oh. And inhale all the way up and exhale. Now, your mobility might not be like this. You might be way out here, and that's fine. Okay, there's always going to be one shoulder that's a little bit more clunky than the other. So we're starting, we're breathing in, and exhaling, taking the strap all the way back. You can always do this standing, it's quite nice. Breathing in, bring it through the center. Exhale, try not to rush it. It's your body's default reaction to rush the sensation that we don't like. So actually move a little bit slower. Gonna breathe in through the center and exhale. One more. You're going to breathe in through the center, exhale, take that strap all the way behind you, just let it flop behind you. Okay, we're going to change the shape of the body just a little bit to bring the kind of some action to the legs, as it were. So we're going to come to all fours, hands and knees, all fours, hands and knees, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Okay, so really, really important this. Okay, and from here, all you're going to do is sink back to your heels and come back to all fours. You're going to sink back to your heels. Keep your neck long. We don't want to crunch the neck. We want to keep it long and back. Now from here, you're going to push the floor away without rounding your back, and then you're going to stop pushing the floor away. So you kind of slump into your shoulders. You're going to push the floor away, broaden across the shoulders, and you're going to slump in between the shoulders. And again, you're going to push forwards, pushing the floor away. And now you're going to gently tilt your pelvis, tailbone to the sky, and come into a little cat stretch. You're going to start moving through the spine. The neck lifts at the end. And then you're going to tuck the pelvis under first. Let the movement come through the spine until finally the head moves. This is a different way of doing cat stretch. You start from your pelvis. You move through the mid-back, upper back, shoulders, neck lifts, gaze comes slightly forwards, and then you reverse it. So tailbone, mid-back, shoulders, finally head. And again, you gently come from the pelvis, mid-back, shoulders, keep the neck nice and long, head, and reverse it. Again, tuck the tailbone under, pelvis, finally the head. Good. And now release to a flat back pose. And that means that if I had a rod on your back, we're not arching, we're not rounding. That rod will be touching every single part of your spine and your head. Now we're going to keep that. Pull your rib cage away from the floor. We want to avoid this, right? So you're never lazy in the arms. You're pushing the floor away. And all we're going to do is reach one arm by the ear, thumb facing up, put it down, and reach the other arm. Da-da-da. Put it down. And again, one arm by the ear. Notice I haven't done this, thrust it up. Okay, it's just by my ear with this long spine. And other side. Do-do-do. We're working through that shoulder joint again. This time, I'm going to introduce the opposite leg, but keep that stability through the core of your body. Put it down. Opposite arm, opposite leg, other side. Put it down. Good, keep going. It's just like you're doing a weird walk in space. Your spine is staying stable. We're not moving through the pelvis. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Good, just one more each side. Da-da-da. And last side. Good, this time, if you can, you're gonna sit your bottom back to your heels and walk your hands forwards, just onto your fingertips. This is a kind of child's pose. It's called balasana in yoga. And you're gonna see if you can just walk your fingers forwards, but keep your sit bones moving to your heels. Now your head may be down, it might be hovering. I like to keep it here in between my arms. And all we're doing is creating space across the back. Now, if I told you to breathe into the backs of your lungs, could you do that? So if I had my hands on your back, could you breathe into them? You're going to walk those fingertips over to the right, just to the right a little bit. And again, sink your opposite sit bone down. Come through the center and walk over to the left. Sink the other sit bone down, so the opposite one. And come through the center. And as you walk the fingertips in, we end up sitting on our knees. Now, this isn't comfortable for a lot of people. So you can stand, you can sit, you can do anything. I'm going to stay on my knees just so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to clasp our hands behind our back. Okay, so it's just clasped behind my back. Sit nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back a little bit. And you're going to take those fists just outside your right hip. Okay, so your right hip down here. Now the intention is that you're pushing the hands down on a diagonal, down further towards that right hip, and then squeeze the elbows together. Okay, now notice how my rib cage has popped out. I want to see if I can pull it in and roll the shoulders back. I'm pushing the hands down on a diagonal, but I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together on the back of my body. Now there's very little space in the back to breathe now, so you've got to breathe here. Okay, so you're going to breathe deeply. Open the chest and breathe out. And one more. Breathe in. Breathe all the way up to the collarbones and exhale. Release the fists behind you, just take them to the other side. So this time they're outside our left hip. I'm going to pull the fists down and forwards towards that hip. So we're opening across the chest. Roll the shoulders back and then squeeze your elbows together as far as you can. And again, rib cage closes, tailbone lengthens. Your neck is kind of long and free, right? We don't ever want to crunch up. Okay? You can do this sitting in a chair. anything you want. And again, the elbows squeeze towards each other. Good. And release. Give the legs a little move if you want to, or you can stand in this. So we're going to take the arms out to the sides, flippity-doo-dah, one arm on the other, and swivel them. That's the word. Now, this again may not be accessible for most. So you take your hands onto your shoulders. So you've gone from wide, take one arm on top, either hold the shoulders and keep the elbows lifted, or you can swizzle the arms. Okay. On the shoulders or in front, long spine, and you're going to gently lift the elbows up, breathe in, and you're going to squeeze the elbows down and round your back, breathe out. You're going to breathe them in again, they can always be on the shoulders, and you're going to squeeze them down towards your pelvis, rounding the upper back. Good, 2 more. Breathe in, lift the elbows as high as you can. And exhale, look down, squeeze them as low as you can. And 1 more. Lift, lift, lift. And gently squeeze, squeeze, squeeze down. Good. We release the arms out. Take them just behind you. You can always clasp them behind your back again. And I'm just going to take fingertip touch. And now as if I've got a string on my sternum, pulling it up to the sky, I'm just going to open the sternum a little bit. And with all that space, we're going to just take a breath there. And release. Again, you can release the legs, do whatever you want in between. We're just going to go to the other side. You're going to take the other arm on top, either hold the shoulders around the side or swizzle the arms around. Okay, so second side. We're going to breathe and lift your upper back. So we're getting into thoracic spine here, as well as shoulders. And exhale, round your upper back, drag them down. And just 3 more. Breathe in, lift your upper back, shoulders, shoulders. Exhale, pull them down. Take your time, really fill the lungs to the top. And empty the lungs all the way to the bottom. And last one. Breathe in, lift the elbows up and gently release. Good, release the arms. And again, clasp the hands behind your back or onto the floor. Lift the sternum up to the sky. And release. And then we're just going to come to a couple of standing shoulder stretches, and you can do them anytime. They're really, really brilliant. Daily is best, okay? We could do this on the floor, but for those of you who don't have a mat or you don't want to lie on the floor, we'll do it against the wall. I'm going to take my hand just against the wall, right next to my shoulder. Not up, not down, right next to my shoulder. And I'm just going to push into the wall so we look like this. Okay, I'm just going to push into the wall. The arm is just by the shoulder, palm facing up, and then we're just going to gently turn our feet and our body away from the wall. So we're stretching into the pecs here. Now actively push into the wall. The arm is the height of the shoulder, okay, and then just breathe. As you turn, try not to adapt the body to the pose. This time we want to see if we can isolate just a certain area. So keep the rest of the body very neutral, and you're just turning away from the wall, and that's pretty much it. You're just kind of breathing. This helps this. Yeah. If the muscles here aren't developed enough, there's no way that they can open the chest. And at the same time, if these muscles here are too compressed and contracted, the back will expand too much. So the exercises that we did are a little bit strengthening, these ones with the thumbs, and all we're doing is just now opening the chest, just opening. You can take as many breaths here as you want. And where you feel the resistance is the best place to breathe. Okay, so maybe if you feel resistance in this pec muscle here, breathe into it. Okay, you can take your breath, as we said before, many different areas, because it's all up here. It's all about your intention. So we're going to take one more breath, push into the wall, And then as you release the arm, just let it kind of swing. Let it kind of swing. And then look at your own shoulders in the mirror, or look at my shoulders. And you can clearly see that one is just gone a little bit lower than the other. I love it. Okay, you might feel that one shoulder is up, one shoulder is down. It's really interesting. The shoulder that I've just been pushing against the wall feels different. It just feels different already. Okay, we're going to stay on the same side. This time I'm going to walk my hand up higher. So it's kind of up here like this, next to my head. Okay, against the wall. Again, I'm going to turn my body away from the wall. The hand is higher this time. Keep the shoulder down. Now, from your hand, travel all the way down that side of the body and bend that knee. Okay, so same hand, same knee. Okay, so you've got the hand pushed, you're going to travel through that side and you're going to bend the knee. What this has done is tilted your pelvis so you get more space on this side. So I'm going to bend the same knee and I'm going to flop forwards like a weird zombie. I'm just going to slump. Okay, so the hand is against the wall, feet turned away, knee bent, and slump down. And again, breathe here. Okay, and it's just getting a different angle of the pec muscle. Just a little bit more movement. And if you want, if you do this kind of stuff often, you can start to move it around a little bit if you want. Kind of move that upper body around. Yeah, or you can stay where you are. Keep that knee bent because it's tilting your pelvis for a reason. And then you release. And now that shoulder is very different to the one that hasn't worked. So we're going to go to the other side. Okay, so other arm pushing against the wall, height of the shoulder. So I'm just pushing against the wall, stand nice and tall, shoulders down, neck is long and free. And then gently, keeping the hand pushing into the wall, I'm going to turn my body. My feet are together. And as you can see, this is much tighter for me. I find this very difficult. So I'm just going to do a little inventory of what's going on. Go, okay, where is its height? Where can I breathe? What's going on this side? And just kind of deal with it. Yeah. It's your body. Just go there, shine a light on it and go, okay, that's what it is. And I just breathe and stay. Just breathe and stay. And again, breathe into that resistance that you feel, into the place that you feel it. Okay, across the chest. It gets so tight around here. And if you're in a chair, of course, you can do this with your hand pressed against anything behind you. Okay, let's take one more breath in. Breathe all the way up to the clavicle, all the way up to your upper lungs. And breathe out. Let the arm just swing. And the same one, second side. Hand goes up this time, so it's pretty much just about the height or over the top of my head. Okay, and I'm going to turn the body away from the wall. Oh, so tight this side. Same arm, I'm going to travel down that side of my body and bend the knee. Okay, now both feet are on the floor. You're not doing anything with the feet. Okay, so don't lift a heel. You're just bending the knee. Don't lift any heel. Okay, come up again. And again, same arm, travel down the body, just bend that knee. Don't do anything else. And then slump a little bit. You're just slumping over. Okay, and you just kind of stay here. And in time, you start to sense a sort of different angle of the pec stretch. And everything feels better when you breathe deeper. So breathe deeper. Good. And one last breath. And slowly from here, release. We're going to take just one arm across the body. Keep this arm straight that you're hugging in. Oh, Mike. Keep the arm straight. Okay, the other arm is pulling the arm across your chest just to stretch into the shoulder. And then the same as we just did, you're gonna lean into that pull. Your upper back has just leaned with the pull of the arm. And as you keep pulling the arm, you're gonna turn and look behind you if you can. Okay, and center. Same as before, other side, you're gonna pull the arm in. You're stretching the back of the shoulder here. And we see this in the gym a lot, right? People stretching kind of when they're going all over the place. No need. Stand tall, isolate where you're trying to stretch. And then I'm going to turn and bend that same knee again. And then have a little lean into it. And come up. And again, little lean into the stretch. Bend the knee and then turn and look at the wall behind you. And release. Actively to finish, you're just going to give yourself a hug and then open the arms, fling them open. Da, da, da. Fling the arms open on a diagonal, shoulder height. Good, and then circle the arms 3 times. You're going to flex the wrists down, open them, flex the wrists back. And again, flex the wrists down, open them, flex the wrists back. And last time, down, flex the wrists back as you open the arm behind you. Take your hands onto your thighs, fingers facing in, and just do a little cat stretch in this diagonal here. A little dog tail stretch, pulling the belly in round the back. And last one, little cat stretch here. And a little dog tail, round and roll all the way up. And that's it. Just a little sequence today, just a little shoulder balm. Maybe you have tight shoulders or whatever else is going on. So we're just going to build up time by time. Very gentle today. Just see how your shoulders feel now and see how you feel now, because that's the main thing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Give me your feedback, and you can do this twice over, once over, every day. See how you feel. It really, really does help with here, all around here, and within here. So give it a go. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.